The final presentation, when treating neovascular AMD, macular fluid should not be tolerated. Taking the con position, Dr. Joan Miller.
Thank you, Suber. Thank you, Sandy. Thank you, the organizers, and thank you, David. Well, I looked at this title, and I just first had to change it from being a double negative because I'm old and kind of feeble. So just for all of us, yeah, we'll try another forward. It's macular fluid may be tolerated. That's what we're going to look at now. So I want to share my disclosures. None of them are really all that much related. And I think, when you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And with anti-VEGF therapy readily available, we may be treating all macular fluid when sometimes we should just observe it. Subretinal fluid, it's easy to see, easy to treat, basically irresistible to clinicians. And we've had some interesting presentations and publications recently looking at this. And Vasada recently presented work from the Harbor study showing that those with residual subretinal fluid actually had the best vision outcomes. Similarly, Rishi Singh presented that from the VIEW 1 and 2 data that there was really no difference in outcome with subretinal fluid present. Our group has presented a category that we call subthreshold CNV, which is asymptomatic with good visual acuity with subretinal fluid, fluorescein kind of so-so, but CNV visible on OCTA and ICG, and it can be stable for months or years. And this is such a case, patient with subretinal fluid, good vision, fluorescein, maybe some leakage, ICG shows a membrane there. And OCTA, this is why you need it in the office, clearly shows a membrane present. So I know you're all itching, getting your trigger finger out there wanting to treat, but what if I told you that this patient looked this way 10 years ago and she's been stable with good vision for 10 years with no treatment? Well, intraretinal fluid, and I would agree with David Brown, that's a different kettle of fish. It's a bad actor, and probably this is indicated in part because the retinal anatomy is very disrupted. It needs to be treated. Similarly, the Harbor data and the VIEW 1 and 2 data indicate that residual intraretinal fluid is associated with lower vision gains, so worse outcomes, needs to be treated. This doesn't mean that every little cyst that you see on an OCT needs to be treated, and there are degenerative cysts that you can see over fibrotic scars and geographic atrophy. Those aren't active disease. You need to withhold treatment. So don't be a hater. And if you know this cat, you can see me later because I had to have it explained. But not all fluid is the same. Subretinal fluid may be observed. We've seen that with persistent fluid with anti-VEGF therapy may be okay. And subthreshold CNV with good vision may also be a subretinal fluid situation you can watch. But intraretinal fluid needs to be treated. It indicates CNV activity, and except for those degenerative cysts. So in summary, some macular fluid may be tolerated. And I'd like to thank my helpers. And when you're voting, it's con, just to make that easy for you. Thank you.